Hi friends, welcome to the channel Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. Ashish here, and today I'll be covering a classic Sudoku on our channel. So this Sudoku is constructed by Anjel, and I really thank the author for giving me an opportunity to cover a video on our channel. So there is a story behind this Sudoku. So in my previous attempt to solve this Sudoku, I actually failed solving this logically, and I was stuck for a long time, and then I had to guess to complete the Sudoku, but then I had to scrap the video because I usually don't guess in my videos. So I had to again contact the author and ask for the logical path, and the path that I got from the intended path that author has intended, the author had designed. I was really shocked to see the path. It's really a difficult Sudoku, but I got to see some really new things in this grid, in this classic grid, and I really thank the author. I actually thank the author for such a wonderful Sudoku. So I'm trying this Sudoku again, and this is my second attempt for this video, right? So let's see if we are able to crack this Sudoku now. I'll just go on with what the author has intended, because this Sudoku, when you try to put in the wiki solver, it shows some extreme strategies and the rating is something greater than 1000, and I was really shocked to see that. And when I just went ahead with the solver, there were many advanced strategies that I couldn't even I could follow actually. So I couldn't follow those logics, and then I asked the author, and then the logic that author has given me, the intended logic, I was really shocked to see that. So let's see if we are able to crack it again. I hope I don't get stuck, because there are too many advanced strategies used in this. So I would highly recommend you try this Sudoku yourself and do watch the video to get the author's intended solve path, right? So classic Sudoku rules apply. You need to place digits from 1 to 9 in each row, each column, and 3 into 3 box without repetition. So apart from that, while solving this Sudoku, I'll just go ahead with the exact logic the author has intended. The author showed me the logic, and I'll just go exactly with that logic, and I'll let you know how to actually proceed. So the one and only digit I got in this Sudoku was this 4 here, because the 4 cannot be in any of these cells, and this was the first digit that I got, and after that I didn't get anything for a long time, and the second digit was really difficult, right? So let's see. Now I will just mark the corners here, because as I can see here, there are 4 solves. So when in my first attempt, when I tried to solve this was the first thing that I did, is placing all the candidates in the row, first and the last rows and columns, right? So as you can see here, this would have to be 8 and 9, this has to be 1 and 9, this has to be 1 and 7, this has to be 7 and 8, right? 6, 8 and 9, 5, 6, 8, 9, 1, 5, 6, 7 and 9, 1, 5, 1, 6, 9, 1, 5, 6, 7, right? 5, 7, 8 and 9, whatever you get here is 1, 2, 3, 7 and 8. So 2 and 8 won't be here, 1 cannot be here, right? 1, 2, 3, 7 and 8, and then here I get is 1, 2, 3, 8 and 9. So 2, 8 won't be here. Okay, so we have done the first part of the logic. Now the moment I saw this, I knew that there was an X cycle here. So as you see here, these two cells should have an 8 at least. So 8 would have to be in one of these two cells. So what happens if you don't have an 8 in these two cells? You will have a 9 here, you will have a 7 here, and both of these cells would have to be 1 now. So same way, both of these cells would have to have one of these cells would have to have a 9 in them. The same logic, because if you don't have a 9, both of these cells would have to be 7. Both of the one of these cells would have to have a 1, and one of these cells would have to have a 7. So now what I can do is eliminate 9 from all of these cells. No, not 9, sorry. 8 from all of these cells, 9 from all of these cells, 1 from all of these cells, and 7 from all of these cells, right? This is what I can do, and that actually gives me a 6 9 pair in row 5 and a 1 3 pair in column 5, right? Amazing. So one thing is done here. Now if you see here, now if you see here, because of the x cycle, we have got an x wing of 9 now. So there will be many logics that you will be seeing here, but I'll just mark that. So 9 has to be in one of these two cells, and because of the 6 9 has to be in one of these two cells. So all the other cells in that column cannot have a 9. So these cells cannot be 9, right? So we got a x wing of 9 here, and now we even have an x wing of 1 here. So because of the 1 3 pair and because 1 being in one of these two cells, now we have an x wing of 1 here. So 1 has to be in one of these two cells and 1 has to be in one of these two cells. So all the other cells can be eliminated and they cannot be 1, right? Now okay, so I can remove these x wings now, and the next logic was okay, just a second, I might forget it, but I remember the next logic was something with these, but I'm just seeing if I could eliminate anything from these cells. Okay, 5 6 and 5 7. Okay, next you have an x wing of 2 here, so which means 2 would have to be in one of these two cells in this row, 2 would have to be in one of these two cells in this row. So none of these cells can have a 2 now. So I can just mark that with the color stating that none of these cells can have a 2. Maybe we could use that in the future solve. So for the 2 I'll use the exactly the color that is associated with the number. So that's a gray color. So 2 cannot be in any of these cells because of the x wing of 2's in these two rows, right? Right now I would use 6. No, there was one more x wing if I remember. Yeah, you have an x wing of 5 here. So in this row 5 can only be in one of these two cells, in this row 5 can only be in one of these two cells. So none of these cells can have a 5 now. So that can be marked with the pink color here. And now comes the amazing part. This was something new that I learned, and I would really recommend you try to focus on what the logic was. I was really amazed with the logic here. If you see these 4 cells, this we have an S wing here. It's not XS. So we have an S wing here, and I was actually learning for the first time. I didn't even knew there was an S wing ever. But thanks to the author for teaching me something really new in this Sudoku. So if you see here, you already have an x wing of 5 in these 4 cells, which means out of these 4 cells, 2 cells will be taken by 5. Now if you see here, the other 2 cells cannot be both 6 or cannot be both 7, because if it is both 6, so for example if you have 2 6s in these 4 cells, both of these cells will be eliminated and cannot have a 6, right? So you will have 1 6 at least, and both of these cannot have 7. So if both of these cells have 7, the remaining 2 cells, then the 7 from these 2 cells will be eliminated. So which means these 4 cells will have 2 5s, 1 6 and 1 7. You cannot have both 7s and both 6, as I have explained you. Having both 7 and both 6 will eliminate 6 from these 2 cells and eliminate 7 from these 2 cells, right? So which means you'll have 2 5s because you have an x wing of 5, you'll have 1 6 and 1 7. Now what happens here is, what happens if I have a 7 here? Now you know that you will have two 5s, and the moment you place a 7 here, both of these will be 5s and that will be a 7 here. So you get two 7s here and there is no 7 in row 9. So this cell cannot be a 7. Same way, what happens if you have a 6 here? Both of these cells becomes 7 and this becomes a 6 again, and there is no 6 in row 5, which means this cell cannot be a 6. This cell cannot be a 7 and this cell cannot be a 6. Now if you see here, extremely sorry.
Hello?
Extremely sorry guys, I got a call in between. Yeah, so what I was saying is, you have a 5-6 pair here, you have a 5-7 pair here, right? And amazing, so we cannot have 5 and 7 in any of these cells. Okay, the next logic was, okay, now we'll go with the next logic that was really much more difficult here. Because of the 6-9 pair, let me mark all the candidates here, right? So 1, 2, 3 and 8. So 2 and 3 cannot be here, 2 and 8 cannot be here, 1 cannot be here, right? Now the next logic is something much more difficult, and let's see if we are able to again see that. If you see these 4 cells now, right? We saw these 4 cells first. Now what we will do is, we will see these 4 cells, right? These 4 cells have an x-wing of 2, so which means you will have 2 2s in these 4 cells. The other 2 cells both cannot be 3 and both cannot be 8, because you have an x-wing of, you have 8 in one of these 2 cells, which means if both the cells are 8, then you will not have 8 in any of these 2 cells, and if both the cells are 3, then you will not have 3 in any of these 2 cells. So which means out of these 4 cells, you will have 2 2s, 1 3 and 1 8, right? Now comes the amazing part. These 2 cells are the most important cells here, seeing these 4 cells now. What happens if you have an 1 here, right? Okay, so that gives you a 3 here. If you have a 1 here, that gives you a 3 here, you will get a 2 8 pair here, which means you will get 2 3 pair here because of 2 2s, 1 3 and 1 8, right? So what happens is, if you have a 1 here, you will have a 3 here, which means you will have a 2 3 2 8 pair here and 2 3 pair here. Same way, if I have an 8 here, same thing, you will have a 2 3 pair here, and because of the 2 3 pair, you will get a 2 8 pair here. So whatever be the case, if it is a 1 or an 8, these 2 cells will always be a 2 8 pair, and these 2 cells will always be a 2 3 pair. Amazing, right? See how the Sudoku is actually working. It's really amazing to see that. Really amazing to see that. Now comes the most difficult part of this Sudoku. I was really amazed with how the logic is actually working here. We had so many candidates in the perimeter of this, at the perimeter of the grid, but now all the cells have only bi-value candidates. We have eliminated so many cells, but the logic here is really amazing. Now we'll come on to the next logic here. For that, I remember placing all the candidates here in these, this row actually. So this row cannot have 2 and 3, so it is cannot have a 4, cannot have a 5 and 6, so it can have 1, 2 3 is not possible, 4 5 6 7 8 and 9, right? This cell cannot have a 5, 1 2, so right now this is not important. This, let us go with this. You have 1 2 3 4. 5 is not possible because of the 5 6 pair, 5 6 7 and 9, right? Now comes this part, is this logic. This cell, you cannot have both 5 and 6, 4 7 9, 1 2 3 and 8, right? 1 2 3 and 8, and this cell is 1 2 3 4 5 6 is not possible, 7 and 9. Now if you see here we have an almost locked candidates. There's a logic called almost locked candidates. So what is the logic here is, if you see here you have a 179, you can actually have a 179 triplet in these three cells, but you have an extra 8 here. So what happens if you actually have an 8 here? If you actually have an 8 here, this would be 9, this would be 1, and you have a 7-9 pair here, right? And what if you don't have an 8 here? You will still have a 179 triplet here. So whatever be the case, if you have an 8 here, you'll have 7-9 pair here. If you don't have an 8 here, you'll have 179 triplet here. So which means this cell cannot be a 1, right? And just a second, guys. There's amazing logic here. Oh, 3 is not there here, right? Yeah, so you don't have a 3 here. That I actually missed. So you get a 2-8 pair. Let me just again see. You can have a 1, 2 is possible, 3 4 is not possible, 5 6 is not possible, 7 8 and 9. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, right. So what happens if you have an 8 here? You'll have a 9 1 and you'll have a 7-9 pair. So 7 and 9 is eliminated. And if you don't have a 7-9, you'll still have, if you don't have an 8 here, you'll still have 1-7-9 pair. So whatever be the case, 7 and 9 are eliminated from this cell. Oh, I actually didn't see this. Now what is there? So if you have an 8 here, you'll have a 9 here and a 1 here. That will eliminate the 1 from this cell. And if you don't have an 8 here, you'll have a 1-7-9 triplet here. That will still eliminate a 1 from this cell. So whatever be the case, 1 is not in this cell. Now if you see here, I'll mark this candidates or this cell as well. You cannot have a 1, you can have a 2 3 4 5 6 is not possible, and as I already said, 7 8 9 is also not possible, right? Because 8 is not possible and 7 and 9 is not possible because of the 7-9 pair that we get, whatever be the case, right? So which means you have a 2 3 cell here. Now comes the amazing part, to get your second digit of this Sudoku. Really amazing. So if you see now, you have a 2-8 pair here, right? And you have a 2 3 here, so that works as a W wing. What happens if I have a 3 here? The moment I have a 3 here, this cell and this cell becomes 2, both of these cells become 8. So this cell cannot be a 3 and this cell is a 1, and that comes up solving this Sudoku. 70% of the Sudoku is solved now, right? Still there is so much left in the Sudoku. Stay tuned, guys. You see where this Sudoku goes. Amazing. So you get a 9 here, that gives you 8 7 1, and that 8 gives you a 5 here, 6 9 6 5 7 3 2 and an 8 here, that gives you 2 8 3, right? So yeah, we have done till this. That eliminates 8 from this cell, so you have a 1-7-9 triplet here. So this is 2 and 3, so this is 2, that is 3, right? And that eliminates 3 from this cell. Okay, so 2 3 5 and 6. So 2, this is 3 5 and 6. So 5 can be eliminated from this cell. What I will do is, I'll remove, okay, I'll just mark here. I'll remove all the colors now, because the X-wing and all the other things are already done here. Okay, yeah, I removed all the colors now. so this cell cannot be a 7. 1 9 and 5, sorry, so this is 5, that is again 1 9, and this cell cannot be a 9, so 1 7 and 6, this cell cannot be a 7. 1 3 5 and 6, 3 6 1 and 5. We haven't solved this Sudoku yet. So 3 4 8 and 9, so 4 3 8 and 9, right? So this will have 8 and 9 here. Excuse me. So you'll have 7 in one of these two cells, and 2 is in one of these two cells. 2 7 and 9, right? So 9, this is 2 7, 2 7 and 9. This is 1 6 7 8 and 9, so this is 6 and 9. 8 and 7, this is 7. 6 9 7 and 5. 9 5 6 and 7 here. Okay, one 3 4 8 9, 3 9 1 4 and 8. So 1 and 8 is not, so this is a hidden single here, right? 1 2, we don't get a 3 here. 4 is possible, 5 is not possible, 6 7 8 and 9 is not possible. So you get a 4 here, that eliminates 4 from this cell, that eliminates 4 from this cell, so that gives you a 4 here. Okay, you have a 1 8 pair here, so which means these two cells are 6 and 7 in any order, right? And 2 8, this is 3 7, 6 7 and 8. 1 3 5 triplet here, which means 5 is in one of these two cells, so this cell is not a 5. You get a 3 6 pair here, so that gives you a 5 here. We have a 9 and 4 here, so this is 9, that gives you a 4 here. And now we have done till this, right? Okay, let's see what can we do here now. I don't remember much here, but I'll try to just see what else I can get here. You have an x-wing of 8 here. As you can see here, 8 in this row can only be in these two cells, 8 in this row can only be in these two cells. So which means none of these cells can be 8. I can remove 8 from this cell, so that comes a 2 here, and that gives you a 2 here, right? So that removes 2 from this cell. I have a skyscraper of 9 if I, oh yes, I didn't actually remember seeing this, but I solved that faster. Actually I got this very fast. You have a skyscraper of 9 here, which means if I have a 9 here or here, so if I have a 9 here, this row will, this column and this column both will have 9 in these two cells, so 9 cannot be here. Same way, if I have a 9 here, I'll have 9 in both of these cells, so I cannot have a 9 here, right? Now comes the finishing touch of this amazing, excellent, toughest Sudoku of all time that I have solved actually. And 7 9 6 7 6 9. You have a Y wing here that eliminates 9 from this cell, because if you have a 9 here, that gives you 7 and a 6 here, and both of the candidates are already eliminated from this cell. So which means this cell cannot be a 9. This is 7 9 1, 6 and 7 and 1 and a 9 here. That gives you 8, 3 and a 9 here. 7, 6, 9 and 8. 6 and 3, 5 and 1 and 3. 8 and 1, 8, 3 here. 7, 6 and 7, 6 and 5. And with that we complete this Sudoku in a very amazing time, which is 24, right? So that was really amazing. I actually got stuck in this Sudoku, to be frank, and my previous attempt was really bad. So thanks a lot, Anjel, for such a wonderful Sudoku. I'm sure that you would have liked this Sudoku. The logic that in this Sudoku was really amazing. So I hope you enjoyed this Sudoku. Do like and comment if you want us to solve any other Sudoku variant or a puzzle genre, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.